In this video, we are in Albany, New York to try out a brewery called Common Roots. Please join us as we check out the space, try some of the food, and of course sample some of the beer to see if this spot is worth you giving a visit. Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're back in Albany, New York to check out a brewery called Common Roots Brewing Company. Now, Common Roots originally got its start up in South Glen Falls back in December 2014, founded by the father and son team Bert and Christian Weber. And now they've expanded with the Albany Outpost, which opened in February 29th, 2024 in the former Pump Station space downtown. We're going to try a few of the beers, check out the vibe, and of course get into the food. Then by the end, I'll tell you if Common Roots Albany is worth a visit. However, let's see what people are saying about them online. Now on Yelp, they have a 4.0 out of 23 reviews, and on Google a 4.2 out of 140, so many more reviews on Google. For the positives, they mention the beer, the food, and the service, mentioning friendly and attentive staff. For the negatives, they also mentioned the food, the pricing of the food and beer, and also they had some service issues. Were all the positive reviews correct or the negative? Let's head on in and find out for ourselves. So taking a look at the menu here, they have a really nice selection. All kinds of different beers. They have a huge selection of hazies and hoppy IPA beers. Of course, they have their sours, and then even some pastry stout style beers. So great selection. Also, take note, Fightins, they allow flights. Fightins, they allow flights. Maybe you want to think about doing that. Anyway, let's try some of these beers out. So here we have our first flight of beer, and these are all from the hoppy section, so they're all IPAs. Now, the first beer I got here on the left is called the Party Short Fridays Passion Fruit Orange Guava. Wow, that's a mouthful. Now, this beer was incredible. One of my favorite I had the whole trip to Albany. You get mainly the guava, which I love, but then also you get a little tropical passion fruit in the background, and the citrus from the orange sits in the background there, tying it together with a nice fruitiness. The lactose then gives it a really nice pop of sweetness. It isn't as hazy or pillowy as some of the others, but this beer still has a nice mouthfeel from that lactose. Overall, this is a fruited IPA done right. The fruit is clearly there, but it's not too sweet or juice-like. It's still beer, and the fruit works with and enhances the hops, but doesn't overpower them. I'll definitely order this again. Then for the second beer, we got the Affinity Bound Double IPA. Now this was a fantastic beer. I really got the candied mango in there and the candied pineapple. I didn't get so much kiwi, but the pineapple is probably the largest player, and then the mango second. An excellent, impactful double IPA. Then for the third beer, we did the Double Pillow here, and that has a lot of Citra and Eldorado hops, and it's a solid beer. I get some citrus and tropical fruit notes, though I can't pinpoint exactly which tropical fruits I get in there. Finally, we have the Endless Encore. This has a lot of citrus and kind of a toastiness in it. I really like this one. It's the haziest of all the IPAs. Overall, if I'm looking at all of them together, I would say that Party one is my favorite. And then it's really close between the Affinity and the Encore. I'm leaning Affinity though on these beers. Overall, fantastic selection and a delicious flight. to take a video of the food menu, but they have a really solid selection of food with burgers, chicken sandwiches, tacos, and of course pizza. We ordered a pizza called the 3B's Knees Pizza, and it was amazing. It had a garlic emulsion on it, house cheese blend, bacon, Brussels sprouts, Blue's cheese crumble, and even hot honey. Now, I'm normally not a Brussels sprout fan, but they complemented all the flavors perfectly, and everything works so well together. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to try something else, but this pizza was fire. I highly recommend it. Now for our second flight, we went a little bit darker and more desserty, with the exception of one beer, that IPA on the left there. And for the first beer, we got the Drift and Flow New England style IPA. And wow, I have to say, I love this. This is more on the hazy side, and I really get the tropical mango. I think mango is the strongest note here. I don't really get too much passion fruit, maybe slightly, and no berry, but I definitely get a nice pop of mango, and I really, really enjoyed this one. In fact, this might be my second favorite beer of the night, or it might be tied for my second favorite as far as the hoppy IPAs go. Then we had the Snowy Night here. Now this is a decadent double stout, and you really get the vanilla bean flavor in there. It almost tastes like a vanilla latte, and then of course you get the milkiness from that lactose, which also gives it a nice smooth mouthfeel. Both me and my wife really like this one. Then we tried pretty much the same beer, except they added coconut, Snowy Night Coconut. And you have to, if you love coconut, then you'll love this beer. It reminds me a little bit of a Mounds bar because you get the same vanilla and lactose and kind of chocolate notes, but then you get that coconut in there. I love this, but my wife preferred the plain Snowy Night. Then finally, you have the coffee cup. Now, be warned, this is definitely like black coffee. It's the strongest beer of the night, and it's not really sweet at all. In fact, it's kind of bitter. Now, I personally love black coffee, so I enjoyed this, but I do wish it was maybe slightly sweeter. It definitely has the notes of chocolate and caramel they mentioned, but like I said, I think they could smooth it out by making it slightly sweeter, but it's still a fantastic beer, and I really enjoyed it. Well, now that we are all finished, what are the positives, neutrals, and negatives of this brewery? Well, for the positives, we have beer, the fact they serve flights, service, and atmosphere, and then food. We love the beer selection. They had something for everyone, and the fact they did flights gave them a leg up on Fidens in that area. Also, we felt that this brewery actually had the most well-rounded selection of beers. While I would still pick Fidens just for hazy IPAs, this spot had plenty of really good hazies, as well as a more varied selection overall. The service also was some of the best we had at any brewery in Albany. Everybody was really helpful with recommendations. The atmosphere was great as well, with a really cool balcony overlooking the brewery. While we didn't have much food, the pizza was amazing, and the man next to us said the fried chicken sandwich was killer as well. So from our limited sample size, we have to put the food in the positives. Now, I have no neutrals and only one negative. They're closed on Sundays. I really wish they stayed open on Sunday since that's an easier day to visit. Their off days are Sunday and Monday, and I would prefer Monday and Tuesday since I feel like Sunday is a really common day for people to go out, especially in the early afternoon. So that's a negative for me. As for the reviews, in our own personal experience, we found the positive reviews to be true, and we didn't find the negative ones to be. So what are our final thoughts on Common Roots Brewery? Well, the beer was fantastic, everyone was so helpful, and we loved the atmosphere. If I was a local, I would definitely be a regular here, and if you visit Albany or are close by, this is a must-visit brewery. Also, it's super convenient to get to, even being right next to a Hyatt hotel. We will be back for sure. If I were to compare it to Fidens, I have to give them a tie, although I'm leaning toward Common Roots. Fidens is a little ahead from a food perspective, mainly due to us being able to try more menu items. Also, they specialize in hazies, so I give them a slight edge there as well. However, I would give Common Roots the edge when it comes to service, atmosphere, and the variety of beers they carry. In fact, several of my favorite beers of the whole trip I had at Common Roots. You really can't go wrong with either, and I definitely recommend doing both, if at all possible, when you visit Albany. Well, those are our final thoughts on Common Roots Brewery. If you enjoyed this video, then check out this video or playlist on the screen. Also, please let us know what you think or if you have any questions or thoughts in the comments below. Finally, please click like, subscribe, and that bell icon so you get notified of any new videos, and most importantly, always drink responsibly. Thank you for watching, and please join us again on Boozy Explorers.